The original conception of this episode was we were going to talk about like being off Twitter and like the escape from the echo chamber and that kind of thing. And then you just got back on Twitter because you're addicted.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you can't. Well, look, there's a couple of reasons. Firstly, despite my dramatic claim I'm leaving Twitter, you end up missing it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You end up missing it, but also actually you end up missing the benefits from it because your account becomes stagnant. And so if your account becomes stagnant, that actually affects the
engagement,
popularity of the show. But also, I just felt like the people of Earth need me, and I have to come and come and bring. That's a line I stole from what's that film? Road Trip.
Oh yeah.
Remember the bit they're stone on the porch, and he said, "I think the people of Earth need me." No, I just felt like a more moderate voice is sometimes required in the Bitcoin community, or a different voice, maybe a European voice or a British voice, to challenge some of the other ideas.
So you're there to do echo chamber bursting. That's why you came back.
A little bit, and just what it is. Come on, you must miss it.
How are you doing? Well, yeah, I'm fucking addicted to it. It's like it's a serious like addiction. Like who would have thought that we'd all be addicted to these little computers that we like keep in our pockets? You know what I mean? And when you have like when you have a big account on Twitter and you have a lot of engagement, followers, and people are adding you. Do you see what this guy said about you? Oh man, gloves are off, motherfucker. Like, and I love conflict. That's like part of my personality. So like I just keep getting sucked in all the time. And so finally I had to just be like, you know what, this is not productive. This is not a good use of my time. It seemed like to me, I was like stuck in the same argument with the same like 5 mentally ill people, like, and it just never ended. It was like it was
Dita Bob.
Yeah, well, some people, yeah,
yeah, Dita Bob. You just argued with Dita Bob all day. Look, it is what it is. People think I want conflict. I actually prefer resolution. I prefer discussing things and trying to find resolution. And I definitely try and write better tweets and less dickish tweets, but I just can't help myself sometimes.
Well, people hate the enlightened centrist, and nowhere more so than on Twitter, because Twitter is both sides fighting it out. And if you come in and you're like, hey guys, there's like some good points over here, and there's some good points over here, and like there's a lot of nuance on these are complicated issues, that's never going to go over well on the internet.
Not in America. The rest of the world, we're okay with this.
Yeah.
It's just in America. I think that Wait But Why guy put out this chart. The Wait But Why guy.
Urban, yeah.
So it's a chart, and it shows over time like the overlap on issues, and now there's no overlap.
Yeah.
It's like you're one side or the other. And what people also do, they try and put you in one side.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you support Ukraine, you're in that side.
Yeah.
And if you are anti-gun, you're in that side, or if you're pro-life, like they want to put you in a side, but it's like, hold on. Sometimes they don't all fit into a nice little box.
Right. Like the Russia-Ukraine thing was interesting to me because it was just all propaganda on the pro-Russia side, and then it was just all propaganda on the pro-Ukrainian side.
Yeah.
And like looking at it, I couldn't figure out what was objectively real, like at all. So my solution to this was not to dig in further. My solution was just to be like, I don't know. I don't live in Russia or Ukraine. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, propaganda is just a tool. That's just a weapon.
Well, everything is propaganda, right? Like there's this idea of like current thingism, right? So like, I support the current thing. You know what I mean? The current thing is vaccines, or it's lockdowns, or it's Russia, or it's Black Lives Matter, or it's trans rights, or it's whatever, and it's just you're being bombarded with it all the time. And I think a lot of Bitcoiners who have more of like a disagreeable attribute to their personality take pride in basically being like anti-current thing.
Yeah.
But whether you're pro-current thing or you're anti-current thing, you are still controlled by the current thing. So like,
I think I'm nuanced about the current thing.
You're nuanced about the current thing.
I like to think I am. I am. Give me a topic and I'll give you my nuance.
Abortion.
Okay. You actually picked the one I'm less nuanced about. And I've never really I don't think I've ever publicly said what I think about this, because I don't like abortion. I'm anti-abortion.
Yeah.
But I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Republican.
So would you deny all abortions?
I think that's where you have to get into the nuance.
Right.
I think and there's like a scale, right? Like if the mother will die if this baby continues to grow inside her, I think you have a very valid reason to discuss termination of that pregnancy.
That one's pretty obvious. So that's an easy one.
Yeah, and then
if somebody wants to kill have an abortion. Sorry, I said kill, but like have an abortion at week 16. Are you okay with that?
I don't like it.
Like just an elective abortion.
I just don't like it.
So you're pretty pro-life. Like that's what we would call you in America.
Yeah, I'm pretty pro-life, but I'm a bit of a pussy on it that I don't like the idea of regulating it, but I just don't like it. My thoughts on it are I would rather effort went into helping people avoid that decision.
Yeah.
If you had to put me on one side, I'm pro-life.
Okay.
But that it's one of those tricky ones because it's like once you say that, there's a whole bunch of people who just want to shout at you for it. It's just like, I'm sorry. It's just there's a really good Louis C.K. sketch about it where he basically says like, oh, these people campaigning outside of abortion clinics, they're so they're so off-putting, they're so this, and he's like, well, they think you're murdering babies,
right?
Of course they think that, and other people don't. I think it is probably the toughest of all of the subjects.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I could give you a nuanced take on abortion too. I won't because I don't care that deeply about that issue. But the point is basically like, okay, listen, it's not black and white. It's not current thing or anti-current thing.
Yeah.
There's a gradient there.
Yeah.
And you're basically saying to me like, I fall usually in the middle of the gradient. I can see truth on both sides.
That's not exactly right. So as somebody who does this job, I try my best to see both sides. But I don't always fall in the middle. Sometimes I'm Russia, Ukraine.
Let's say then that I can tell you've been in a courtroom like this motherfucker. Like
but like Russia, Ukraine.
I'm like a litigator. I have to like pull it out of you.
Russia, Ukraine. I'm very much on the side of Russia has invaded a sovereign country.
Yeah, they're the aggressor.
And you can pick up all this NATO. I don't care. They've invaded and they're firing missiles at people and killing them. I'm very clear on that.
Yeah.
I'm very clear on I do not want guns in the UK like you have it here in the US. Like I can be very clear on some subjects, sure. but that's my point. But I also try and I just want to understand both sides.
So this is still not my point. My point is basically this. It's like the thing and your thoughts surrounding the thing, no matter where you fall in the gradient, right? You are being controlled because you are thinking about the thing. That's the point. Is like, if I say to you, Peter, Rocky Road is a trash ice cream. It's the worst ice cream on earth. And then you say to me, well, yeah, but that's not true. I mean, I like pistachio and mint chocolate chip or whatever. Now you're thinking about ice cream. I own you. You're in my frame now. You know what I mean? Like that's like the B.F. Skinner behavioralism thing. Like that's the soup that we're all swimming in at all points. It's like, if you can control the thing's environment, you can control the thing. And they can't tell you how to think. Nobody can tell you how to think. But people can certainly tell you what to think about. Why have I spent so much of my life thinking about trans rights? I am not trans. I don't know anybody that's trans. I very rarely have ever met anybody that's trans. I don't care about trans issues, pro or con. I just don't care. It's not a part of my life. Why do I spend so much time thinking about
it? Sometimes maybe because you live in a democracy, and in a democracy, we kind of figure this shit out as a collective.
So that's the point, is because we live in a democracy, the powers that be have to keep control of the mob.
Yeah,
and they use the current thing to keep control of the mob.
But is it control? Have we just not always had there's issues to be talked about?
Certainly, yeah. No, issues are real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what you focus on like basically becomes your reality, right? And so if they can get you to, whoever, like some mystical they, but like, there's like a whole system of selective pressures that like form to create the mainstream media apparatus, what Eric Weinstein calls the distributed idea suppression complex, basically the Twitter algos, the Facebook algos, the Instagram algos, right? Like you're being manipulated at all points in time, right? And like the only solution I've found, like this is the escape from the echo chamber thing. The only solution I found is just to not be on any of those platforms, not inhale any media. I get all of my news word of mouth nowadays. Like I don't look at the news at all. Maybe I'll see some headlines and I'll be like, oh, they're trying to push this shit or trying to push that shit.
What the fuck do you do with your time?
Just chill. I kick it with my kids. I hang out.
Are you retired?
Go to the gym. Yeah, I'm retired. Yeah. I mean, I don't have to stay up on things because I have some Bitcoin. You know what I mean?